Hello guys and welcome to Mark Shrimp Tanks. I was asked recently by a subscriber, Mark, what do you actually have in this cull tank? And you know, I thought to myself, guys, I actually don't know. So the plan today is to cut back some of this growth. I know it looks awesome, but it's kind of overpowering the cull tank just a little bit. It's becoming dull in a lot of the places, and we're also going to remove a lot of this duckweed, some of this Hygrophila sunset that's in there, because I have a feeling in here we're going to have lots and lots of different types of shrimp, and we probably will see stuff that I've never even seen before. Alright guys, so first things first, we are going to use a big green net like this, and we're going to catch all the duckweed in here. We're also going to fill one of these buckets up with just enough water to hold the plants, right, because I like to hold my plants just for a little bit longer. Especially if I'm going to throw them away, because quite often there will be shrimp stuck in amongst all the plants, right? So I move all that stuff there into a bucket like this, and then over the course of like a day or two I go through it with my hands, methodically removing the plants one by one. We need some water, right? And in the beginning it doesn't matter if there's any shrimp going here, because I will save them all anyway, right? So in we go like this. I need it at least enough that I can rinse this net off, because this will probably get quite full of plants. We'll also do a water change in here, because it's one of the things I really neglect in this tank is stuff like this. So we'll put enough water in here just to hold all the plants I don't really need. That will be stuff like the Hygrophila sunset. I've taken a lot of the Hygrophila sunset out of this tank over here because it was choking the tank quite a bit. You can see quite a lot of the baby Neocaridina on there today. Right, so it's going to be as simple as this, guys. I'm going to put my hand in like this, grab as much stuff as possible. And Hygrophila sunset is nice, but then when it gets like this, it's just a pain in the butthole to keep in a tank, right? So put up and down a few times like this into the wee tank. Get in there with your hands, like so. Move as much of the stuff out the way as you can. Dunk it like I do. Everything, and you can see the process here. Just from there I can see there's no large shrimp, but quite often there will be lots and lots of little baby shrimp, right? So just be careful when you do this kind of thing. We'll have to remove as much of this manually as we can with this green net, the thing I showed you before, and then do a water change, and then come back to it once it's settled and the duckweed has floated, and do it again, right? So I'm going to remove as much of this duckweed as possible, and I'll be right back. It has been roughly, what, 10-15 minutes since I last spoke to you guys. I've taken quite a lot of stuff out of the tank already. We're now in the process of doing removing the water for the first part of the water change, and this is something I'm going to have to come back to, guys, over and over and over, is just remove as much of this duckweed as possible, because it is stuck in everything basically. It'll be all stuck in the plants and stuff. So I will have to come back to this, and I will have to use that net and just scoop out every so often. But I thought what was quite interesting would be to show you guys all these shrimp down here. You can't see them, but let me show you with the other camera. Let's see, is it in macro mode? Macro mode enabled. Let's see, let's get this switched on, and we'll get this camera into this tank, and we'll see. Right, so let me press record. It's very hard to do this with one. Two hands, two cameras. And let's see how well this can actually see stuff under there. It's probably blurry, but what we'll do, guys, is I'll probably try and take some of these shrimp out of this tank as well, just to show you them a little bit better, because it's very hard to see in there. But what I was quite surprised at is the amount of Marimo mossballs I have in here. I didn't think I had so many in there. There's still at least a good 10 of them, the big ones, in there. I'm also going to clean out this filter up in the top corner here. So many shrimp. Right, so we'll get this water change done here, and then we'll do probably a filter cleaning, because I haven't cleaned that filter over there for a long time either. We're going to add the water back in, and then we're going to see exactly what shrimp we have in here. Next is to clean this filter. In here, this is the Pat Mini type thing with the power head on it. I like to just take the filter off like this. Bring out the water, and you will see on here, you see the shrimp jump off there, so it's important that you check the sponge filter before you put it in your bucket of water. What you're specifically looking for is baby shrimp, If there's any baby shrimp on here, you will see them, right? So just give them a little dunk like this, help them get off. And then in here, and it's quite a good thing to just let this splash around, because the force of the water should help get any shrimp off here, right? And I will always do this, guys, where I check the bottom for shrimp, invisible ones, anything that is like 1 millimeter and up, I will probably see with my eye. Right, I can't see anything at all in here. I can't even see any big ones. So this is clean the sponge regarding the shrimp being on here. But let's have a little squeeze of the sponge filter and just see how dirty it is. Now I can already tell that this is solid. So this means that it's full of gunk, right? It's going to be full of mud. And it's like this as well, guys, because in this tank over here, I do actually have Akadama and a few pots in the corner. Okay, so you can see how dirty this is. I'll clean this and I'll get right back to you in a second. So next, after we have put the sponge filter back on, we're actually going to fill the tank back up with some fresh remineralized water. This is remineralized to 150 parts per million with salty bee shrimp GH Plus Premium. This tank is predominantly a bee shrimp in here. There are a lot of neos as well, and they do breed in here, but the tank is mostly a soft water tank, right? So we're going to let this fill up the tank, and what we'll also do, guys, is we'll get some water again, put it into a tub like this. We'll put a few scoops in here, like so, and we're actually going to feed the tank, and we're going to see what we can net out of here, just so you guys can actually see what is in this tank, right? So the next thing is, that's probably enough for that, maybe one more. Oh, there's one in there already, so that is a crystal black. And then we're going to use this green net, this one here. Now I've spotted a place here that is quite good for putting a net on. It's on the top of all these mossballs, right? So let's sink the net. This type of net is good for the bigger type of shrimp, right? So I'm just going to sink the net, try and get all the shrimp off from the sides of the mossball as well, because I don't want stuff to be stuck underneath. Right, we're just going to let it sit like this, like a little cove, if I can get it to sit properly. A little cove, it doesn't have to be super flat. Right, and then we're going to use some shrimp food. This is, what's it called? Skyfish food. Someone sent me from their company to test. Right, and we are going to see exactly how many shrimp that we can catch out here, right? So I'll give this 5 minutes, I'll come back and we'll scoop this out and put it into there. So I was growing a little bit impatient with using the green net, just simply because it was too slow. So I decided to hand net them out manually. The water change is finished. I'm going to put the pump on in a few minutes. What is noticeable, guys, is there's just like billions of shrimp in this tub. You will be able to see these guys in a minute once I show you the footage of them eating the food on the mako part here. Just from looking from above, the types of shrimp that I can see, there's lots of young cherry shrimp, there's lots of Michelins, there's lots of crystal blacks and crystal reds. I am seeing the odd blue shrimp in here as well. That flickering, by the way, guys, that you see is just the frequency of the light next to them in the tank above. In this tank here, just with the naked eye, I can see some orange eye blue tigers, cherry shrimp, crystal reds. Again, I think I see some type of blue shrimp as well. But honestly, I don't see anything with the naked eye away up here that is way different from what I put in here. Like I can't really see that there's been a great deal of hybridization like I see in some of my other tanks. What is noticeable over here is this one here. You could probably just make it is quite a large buried tangerine tiger. Right, so they are breeding in this tank. There's lots of young in there too. So it will be interesting to see what the other camera picks up in the water, because that is a waterproof camera that's in there. The other things I'd like to do today before I go is to quickly give you some tips on trimming stuff like this, right? For example, this stuff here. This is pothos, and it's an awesome addition to add to any type of over-the-top type filter like this, right? But there is some things you must know about pothos before you use it, right? And that is that it likes to suck up water, right? So if you have it in a container where it sucks up water, just remember that if you cut like part like this where it grows over the side, if you cut it, the water will go up there and it will come out of your tank, right? So this will form a pool of water. Right, see over here as well, like this one. This fella here is getting just a little bit too big for its roots, for its boots or its roots, whatever you want to call it. So we must cut it off away over here. I'm going to be careful to cut it there. We're going to remove it. But I'll keep a lot of these pothos clippings because I like to put them in containers around the shrimp room. Just saw a nice little squiggly. What is this little thing? It's coming off my one of my orchids, really crinkled up, scrumpled up plant. Right, so here I'm looking for dead leaves. This one can go. Anything dead can go. And also, while we're up here, I'm going to remove the large leaves of this Nepenthes, because this Nepenthes is was huge and it's died and it's actually grown back again, but the big leaves actually serve no purpose now, right? So cut them off like so, and then we shall get jugs growing off the end. Alright, does that make sense to you guys? No point having leaves on that won't give us some jugs, basically. Cut that little one off there. And as you can see, guys, here I have pothos tends to grow everywhere, right? So here you see it's actually just growing up beside the tank. It's no problem if it's over here, but I just don't want it like filling our cull tub to the extreme, right? So we want to let as much light go in here as possible. So these leaves here could probably come off as well. Just cut them off like so. Let the light go into your tank. And it's funny, I haven't seen this part here for a long time. This part is bulging a little bit, so I probably need to fix this with a cable tie. And then we should be good to go again. Stick the filter on. And then I'll probably come back to this, as I said, and we shall remove as much of the duckweed that is left in the tank as possible. As you can see, I get quite meticulous with this, where I keep on coming back to it. And I will, guys, I'll come back to this and I'll start to remove more and more and more of the duckweed like this. You just have to keep come back, go like this, and put it into that container. Right in that container, you can store in your shrimp room for a couple of days, and every so often just go back to it and check for shrimp, see if there's shrimp in there, because there always is. There's always shrimp in containers like this when you do a little tidy up. That's what we will call this, a little tidy up. Right, and this will look superb once it's done, because it did look awesome, really, really awesomely good before, and I let it go a little bit too far this time. I think that will do. Once this is settled and we have the filter running back on it again, I'll probably tidy up the plants as well, put these Nubias back in position above the rock where they should be. They've come down, floated over for some reason. Right, and I'll fix all this stuff over here too. Right, and then we probably should put the pump back on. My hand, I'm drying it on my leg, because I know a lot of you guys say to me, Mark, you're putting plugs in with a wet hand. Let's see. Work, damn it. I just keep on going over it like this. This will switch itself on any second. The water will start flowing out of here. I only cleaned one of the sponges. That's what you should do as well. One sponge at a time, you keep most of the bacteria. And you can see that it's starting to flow again. The flow. Right, so this was roughly a 10% water change in this as well. I don't know the exact size of this, but going by the size of it compared to my other tanks, like my 60 litre ones next to it, this one's like at least 40 litres bigger. Another thing, guys, as well, I like to keep my sponges. If I have like a spare sponge in a tank, let me show you here. I like to keep them actually in the coal tank like this, you see, because shrimp love to graze in them. Alright, so hopefully this part down here will be good. I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys, and I've shown you what's in the cull tub. I can actually see that that one there is blue now, that I'll put it in this container, and I'll catch you on the next one. Happy shrimp keeping!